What's good, YouTube? Back with another video. In this video, we are talking about my funded futures. Now, this is a prop firm that I essentially was able to make an investment of around $73-ish at the particular time. You know, I was using a discount code that was available to me. I'm not sure what the discount code is right now, but we're going to talk a little bit about how I was able to essentially flip this My Funded Futures 50K core account into $1,000. So we're going to cover that. I'm not going to do any type of comparison video because I have looked at a few other accounts, and it was only after that I did the core account, got the payout, a few different things that I noticed that maybe a few other My Funded Futures accounts likely could be a much better opportunity, whether it's for a flip or even long term. That's for another video though. Let's go ahead and hop into today's video. So as you can see here, with this particular account, it is the core account. Now you have 77 a month. Now, like I said, there's typically discounts that either you can find from various different content creators online through My Funded Futures, sometimes through them directly. Regardless, it's currently 77 right now for this particular core account at 50K. General rules, max drawdown 2K, end of day drawdown. So that is very good versus trailing drawdown, no activation fee. Evaluation rules, we have a 3K profit target, daily drawdown, none. Again, it's just end of day drawdown. Max position size, you can use 3 contracts, 10-to-1 scaling, micro scaling. There is a 50% consistency rule. So essentially just meaning that you have to at least trade this account 2 days essentially to reach that 3K profit target. So you can make half of that in a day, but you can't make more than 50%. And then there is no scaling rule in the evaluation phase. Now, when you move to the funded, the max position size is 3 contracts. Now, micro scaling goes down 5-to-1. There is no consistency rule with this particular account. You do have scaling rules. Now, the payout rules are performance based. So you do have to have 5 minimum trading days, at least $100 per day. And the minimum payout is $250. We're going to show you the evaluation phase. So as I mentioned, the profit target is 3K. We were able to get it done in 2 days. Our first trading day was August the 7th. And as you can see, we passed August the 8th. So we did have 2 trading days. Good thing about My Funded Futures, it is very intuitive, something new that they're doing, as well as real-time data. And as you can see here on both of these calendar days, I had essentially 1,500. And again, statistics, all of this is going to be broken down for you as well. So another good thing about My Funded Futures is that you do have all this information relatively available to you. And most times, more often than not, it's going to be instant as they update it. Now, I will say when I went over to the sim funded phase, it was not instant. It was usually after the trading day, which no big deal. I think this is still like a test, a trial run for this. So let's hop into now the sim funded. So as you can see here, this is sim funded. The account total was 1,041.72. And so I want to talk to you about mindset. I want to talk to you about kind of just my thought process, the methodology around the strategy that I wanted to have going into this. This essentially was 100% an account flip, nothing more. I do have some other accounts that I would like to try with My Funded Futures, because when I did this core account, I realized a few things. And again, we'll talk about that in another video. We'll break that down. But as you can see here, the start date was 8/10. Another good thing about My Funded Futures is usually, say you pass on that second day, on that calendar day, usually later on that evening, if you wanted to trade Asia session, you can go ahead and start trading, that day. So the main thing to keep in mind was the 5 calendar days that you have to trade. It's only $100 that you have to make per trading day. It doesn't have to be 5 consecutive, but you do have to have 5 winning days of at least 100. And they allow you to track all of this in the system. 5 winning days, as you can see here. And now we're going to hop into these days. Very strategic. So I want to pretty much pause right here for a little bit, because I think that For me personally, I'm on a journey that I've had to really, if you know, I've talked about this, I've spoken about this in probably the last 2 or 3 videos. You have to self-reflect. You have to identify you versus you, your journey. And sometimes it is good, as traders, as somebody who is trying to learn this life skill that is very lucrative for those individuals who stick it out, who figure it out, who master not only the charts, but themselves, psychology, strategy, everything like that. This particular journey that I was on, I went into this, telling myself that I'm flipping this account, 70 something dollars. My goal was, hey, of course you can actually just make $100, and I could have taken $500 out of the account once the 5 trading days was up. But I literally told myself $200 a day minimum. And I don't care, trading wise, if my trade is going to play out and go the distance. We're not staying in trades. I literally told myself that that's the goal. So whether it took a few trades, whether it took one trade, neither here nor there. The goal was the $200 a day to just display that consistency, have that strategy, get in at great levels. And we were able to accomplish that. As you can see here, literally every single day. The one thing about my funded futures, and there's a couple of other prop firms that do the same thing, when you take that payout, they literally, if you don't have that additional buffer, put you in a position where essentially your account is blown. Perfectly fine for me because, again, my mindset was that I was going to flip the account regardless. So let's go ahead on into just the payout process, because I wanted to talk about just how fast the payout process was. Now, I've heard people talking about record payouts, things like that, 5 minutes, a few minutes. Now, I will tell you, in my experience, because this was the first time actually taking a payout or even going through the process with my funded futures, it is accurate. They do have very fast payouts. My funded futures, believe it or not, was literally almost instant. So when I went through this process, as you can see here, and we're going to talk about this because this is very important. When you have your balance, now the core account is 80-20 split. Again, we'll save that for another video. We'll do some comparisons. But yes, it is like 70 something dollars for this core account, but it's an 80-20 split. So they took that portion. And then in addition to that, as you can see here, we only have $941.72 remaining from the total that we had made, and that's because of the 80-20 split. In addition to that, they take $100, they make you keep that in your account. So our payout was $753.38. Not a big deal. Again, we're flipping the account. Do I like that? Not necessarily, because the 80-20 split, they have that on take profit, but when I take money, they're not requiring me to keep a certain amount in the account. So essentially they took my 80-20 split percentage, and then I'm left with that remaining balance. And then you essentially take $100 extra on top of that, and they kept that in my account. So I'm not really the biggest fan of that, but again, can't complain. We essentially flipped 70 something dollars into 753. If you want to look at it, we flipped it into 1,000 or something, but with all the other, percentages that's going to be taken out, they keep the $100 in your account. This was our ending balance. Not a big deal. But as you can see here, man, just looking at all of this, the timeline here, we have submitted August 15th. This was at 8:04. We submitted for this payout. The funds were removed, compliance reviewed, and the risk reviewed. Pretty much all of this at the same time. You had 8:04:23 literally for the first 4 steps. I believe that this payout would have hit within 5 minutes, but this was my first time taking a payout from my funded futures. So that being said, I did have to do, the entire process. You had to set up the W-2, all of this information, set up your bank account, or if you're going to do RISE, however you plan to transfer the funds. This on Friday, as you can see here, at 8 something at night. The payment was sent actually 12:23 a.m. And again, I think it would have been instant. So, we now have all this set up. So we'll get another payout from my funded futures. That's definitely guaranteed. but on a different type of account. I likely will not go the core route this time. And we'll explain that in another video, but the payout was sent that morning. Checked the bank, everything went through perfectly. It was fast. And again, that is very impressive to say the least. Let's talk about essentially what the account looks like afterwards. So like I told you, they're going to take your $100 or make you keep $100 in the account. I thought it was fair game. Like literally, hey, if we can flip $100 into 200, 300, 1,000, let's do it. But there's still only so much room that you have to go. So I really don't understand that rule, because I lost like $19, as you can see here. The account, and before we get into that, you can reset this. So I can reset this for $199. Not too shabby. If you know anything about most prop firms, they don't even allow you the ability to reset a funded or a sim-funded account. Some of them are starting to come along. Now you have My Funded Futures doing this, but $199 is not bad at all. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So something to consider, but at the end of the day, like I said, there's another account that I probably would rock with, but we'll see. But like I said, this is what it looks like after that money was taken out. Yeah, but I lost $19 and the account was liquidated. So, that is what it is. Like I said, more to come on the next account that I plan to rock with on My Funded Futures tip. But one thing that I wanted to say that I think is very crucial is that we have to identify our journey. And that $200 a day is actually somebody's salary. More than, I would say, 50%, 60%, 70% of individuals on this planet are not making $200 a day. And if they are, they're working 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. So you're able to do this with day trading a couple of hours out of your day. Sometimes it could be in certain instances, I've been done trading within 30 minutes, within an hour, so it is all perspective. But at the end of the day, I wanted to view this challenge more so for myself as that level of consistency, while I also was grinding out, which that video will be coming next, because it then will get me to, when we talk about it on Take Profit Trader, I was doing this core account simply as a flip while grinding another Take Profit account. And that account, we were trying to push the distance. So this one was specifically just for consistency and to know that we had a payout. Like I had already claimed it. We're getting this payout, hands down, this payout will happen. Took 2 days to pass it, 5 days consistency with the 200, bam, we're there. Your journey is your journey. How fast you get to the destination completely is going to be on your shoulders and within your control, meaning that you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to get better, but give yourself grace, give yourself that push to really just keep moving forward. Because again, they talk about it. 95% of day traders do not make it in this field, this industry. It's not for the weak, and it's 100% not for the weak. So it's up to you how fast you're going to get to that destination. But again, I think that ultimately I wanted to talk to individuals out there who, comparison is probably in this game going to be to your detriment. It's literally going to be a journey that will keep you in your mind. It can kind of make you get down because you're not really paying attention to what is necessary for you to start and achieve the smaller goals, to have that consistency, to be thankful for maybe those small wins. And when it's said and done, the bare minimum that is doable in this market is like $100, $200 a day. And that's not small. And when it comes down to it, accept that if you're in the game, you're in the game for the long run. Are you trying to be part of that 5% that gives up, that says, yo, this is a scam, I never made it, but I wasted countless years, lost a lot of money? Or do you want to go through all of that and then you can look back and now you have a skill set that nobody can take from you? Start making the necessary adjustments within your trading strategy. You know you. And at the end of the day, that's one thing that I can speak on at the end of the day when it comes to my journey. The things that I know I have to get better on, the things that I know I have got better on, it all comes full circle. And when you do, make those small, sometimes it's small tweaks, small adjustments on a consistent basis, you start to see results. So like I said, take profit video coming soon, where we'll be able to kind of have this conversation a little bit further. Just a video that I wanted to talk about just my first time with my funded futures, flipping this account. We'll talk about the comparison of a few different my funded futures accounts, because I have the option to reset, this for $199. I don't really know that I would do that, just because, again, a couple of things that we'll talk about in a future video, but still not a bad option. It's on the table. We'll see. But yeah, man, that wraps it up for this video. If you haven't already, smash the like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. Much more to come. Level up your mindset, level up your trading, but most importantly, level up your life. Catch you on the next one.